A bubble boy? Yes, a bubble boy.
What's a bubble boy?
He lives in a bubble. Boy.
Make me laugh, funny guy. I'm a dancing for you. Court jester. Oof. 420 was 420 was yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah,
nice.
I don't know. It was funny. I was like, I was smoking it up.
Smoke any fat chronics yesterday?
Buddy, every day is 420.
Yeah,
that's like those people who are like, they're like, oh,
on
same.
420, weed smokes you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Like in Scary Movie 2, and he rolls up Shorty in the joint. He rolls up the Wayne's brother in the joint. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's stupid. Like, it's like St. Patrick's Day, where people are like, St. Patty's Day. I'm like, I don't need a fucking Irish holiday to tell me when to day drink. I'll do that on my own accord.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool in like high school or something.
Yeah, that's true. Or in college especially.
Like, I remember on 420, like, it was always, like, a bunch of people would get together and stuff. Like, in high school.
Yeah, you just get together and smoke grass.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun excuse.
Yeah, get real baked, go back to class, do nothing. Yeah. I used to be my favorite, getting stoned and going to class. You just sit there, you're just like, this is taking forever.
I remember one time I went, like, smoked weed on lunch and then went to class. And my English teacher, he knew I was high and to, like, fuck with me, said we were changing all the desks around. And he moved my desk, a lone desk, into the middle and made a U of other desks around me. And I'm just sitting there like, this is fun.
You're just looking around, you're like, why am I in the middle? And he's like, you're not in the middle. You're like, I think I am.
I think I am, man.
Oh, man. I remember once I did a bunch of edibles and I went back to class, in English class. We're doing like peer evaluation, right? So you correct like the person's paper next to you and you just pass it over. And I remember sitting there and I was so ripped and the person just hands me their paper and I looked at it and I was like, uh-oh. And I just started reading through it and I was like, who cares? And I just started circling stuff and I gave it back to them and they looked at me. They were like, what in the hell is going on here? And I was like, yeah,
why'd you circle my name?
Yeah, I was shit like that, right? I circled like a question mark and I was like, should it really be there? They were like, yes. And I was like, well.
At the end of a question? Yes.
So you around an exclamation point there, you know? Like, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was like gone. I was like 3 sheets to the wind.
Nice.
And just fucking, oh, yeah. Yeah, don't do edibles and go to class. It's not a good time.
No, I didn't even know edibles existed back then.
I made my own.
Oh, so, yeah, fair enough.
That was my big downfall there.
One time, then I haven't smoked weed really since high school, like at all really. And one time when I was in Vancouver,
that's like Bud Capital right there.
Yeah, and it was actually 420, and they have this big like festival downtown. Sort of, they like block off this giant like square, and everyone goes to it.
Oh, and everybody and their mother's smoking weed.
Oh yeah, and it's like a good time. So like I went with my buddies and I just had like a fucking big bottle of cider. I think it was like Growers, and I was just getting drunk. Like I was like pretty drunk, and then I was like hungry, right? And I was like, and my buddy's like, oh, you can have this like Rice Krispie square, and it was like a big fucking cube. I'm talking like 4 inches by like 4 inches, like a massive like cube thing. And I remember we're just walking.
It's like a Rubik's cube.
Yeah. In my memory, it's like bigger than that. But yeah, we're just like walking, whatever. My buddy like looks at me. He's like, "Yo, did you eat that whole Rice Krispie?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know, there's weed in that."
Oh, you shouldn't have done that,
dude. I was so fucking high. I was like hallucinating and shit. Like I was high for like 8 fucking hours. It was fucked.
Oh, it doesn't go away either.
Yeah, it was fucked. And that was the last time I had like weed in my system. So it's been a while.
That's the thing. You do too much at once like that, and it fucks with you because you're just like, yeah.
I mean, I didn't freak out or anything. There was
freaking out, man.
But it was like, I didn't know where I was, type of thing.
It's like half baked. It's like, oh god, close the window. The dogs can float away.
Yeah.
Oh man, awesome. In lieu of 420, I was really hoping that we were gonna watch something that was gonna give me some laughs.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, god damn it. So, welcome to another episode of Movie La Boss. I'm Todd.
Hey, I'm Owen.
And, so today we're talking about the Booble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bubble.
Booble.
The new Judd Apatow movie.
Juddy Apps.
Wow.
Can we call him Juddy Apps? I'm gonna call him Juddy
Yeah,
Apps.
why not? Yeah, might as well.
I mean,
he's a fucking hack now, so you can call him whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen his stand-up? It's awful.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I hated it.
Okay.
He put up something on Netflix where he was just sitting there. Like, this is kind of where, like, I stopped liking Judd Apatow. I was just like, ugh. I was like, he's like, yeah, I figured I'd get back in the stand-up game. It's been too long, whatever. And I was like, oh, it's so bad.
He's one of those guys, he's kind of like an Adam Sandler. He's, like, too old where he, like, doesn't understand what's, like, funny or good anymore.
Yeah, but he's done good in the past, like, kind of thing.
Yeah, so did Adam Sandler.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But anyway, well, yeah, like, we both knew this movie was going to be bad. Right?
Oh, yeah. I knew it was going to be bad going
like, we knew it was going to be bad. But, we
but
wanted to watch it.
Hey, I figured, for the fans out there, I just take one on the chin, and I'm gonna watch this fucking Garbaggio, and let me just say, I did not enjoy watching this, and we'll get into that.
Oh yeah. That's the main thing.
I did not
wasn't enjoyable.
I did not enjoy watching this, but we'll get into all that. So anyway, The Bubble, which stars fucking
a lot of
people.
A lot of people that haven't acted in a while.
Yes. So half of Judd Apatow's family, first and foremost.
Yep. So you got Leslie Mann, his daughter Iris
Apatow.
There's Karen. Oh, there's a lot of like British actors in this.
Well, it takes place in England.
It does.
Yeah.
And I didn't look into it. I meant to, but I
wonder if it was actually shot there.
I think definitely, but also to the point I was wondering if the Apatows perhaps like lived in England or something, because there's a lot of like British comedians that I know from like panel shows.
Yeah, like QI.
Yeah,
that one guy.
That aren't on American movies, television.
That was what I
at all. So
yeah.
I was curious why they were in the movie. Gus Kahn, like that.
Yeah, that was the main one.
Funny.
When I saw Gus Kahn, I was like, this is the route we're taking. But I love that though.
Yeah. So Karen Gillan's in this from Doctor Who.
Yeah. Also, she's the new Doctor Who, right?
No, she was the Doctor Who's partner. I'm offending a lot of Doctor Who fans out there. I can't remember what the partner's called.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
But they have a name.
Sorry,
the assistant or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's in Guardians of the Galaxy. She's the blue girl, not Gamora, but the other one. I can't remember.
Right.
Like all the nerds are gonna get mad at me now.
We're just out here offending everybody.
Pissing off the nerds.
Well, that's what we do.
Fans.
That's what we do. And we're proud of it.
But yeah, she's in that. She's in a couple other things. She's in Jumanji. That's what it was.
That's right.
Jumanji.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah.
She's good in that. Man. I like those movies.
Yeah, they're good. They're watchable.
They're like these.
They're watchable.
Yeah.
And then who else is there? Keegan-Michael Key.
Maria Bakalova, the girl from Borat's subsequent movie film. Did you realize that was her?
Is that her?
Yeah.
Is she the receptionist?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't figure that out. I was like, where have I seen her before?
So she's obviously amazing in Borat's subsequent movie film. You know,
and this one, not so much. I had to do it. I couldn't.
Nice. She was good in this one. Not.
This movie was good. Not.
But I felt bad for her because I was like,
from rags to riches, eh? From riches to rags.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, she'll get other stuff, but it's
I hope so.
Yeah. This is not where you want to break into because that's what she's doing. Borat was the only movie she was ever in. So now she's going to break into the movie scene. This is not the way.
No. Don't do it this way, please. If you're her agent and you're listening to this, which I know you probably are, because who the fuck doesn't listen to this bad boy? Don't put her in any of these god-awful, like, rom-com streaming service movies. Let's focus on, like, something with some meat behind it, you know? Like some Academy.
I guess she has to be, like, she's kind of, like, probably pigeonholed. She's going to be put in, like, comedies, obviously.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
She was, like, doing a good job, like, acting in Borat.
Yeah.
So,
and
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what she wants. Maybe she wants to do these movies. I'm sure she got paid well for this movie. She was one of the main characters. In this
she was a main character. They were all main characters.
Yeah, it was ensemble cast.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this though about it: as many people that were in it, they all had equal parts. Like no one really overshadowed anybody. Like obviously, like
that's true.
They're the main people, but overall, it was kind of.
I agree.
It was kind of everyone had a part to play. I guess they're all stuck in a fucking house, so it's like you're gonna see them all. It's like Clue, right? Like they're like everybody's there, right?
Yeah. Other people in this were Pedro Pascal.
Yeah,
right.
My boy with the mustache.
David Duchovny, who's
I forgot
back in acting, and this is what he does.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Duchovny is probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, he was. So one of the points I was gonna have is he was one of the only ones who seemed to be like trying.
Yeah, he gave a shit.
But it's funny. He reminded me in this movie of just like Hank Moody.
Yeah, that's what I think that's what they were going for. They were
Perhaps
like, maybe they're just like, I don't know, just do
another fucking.
Do you want me to do Mulder or Hank Moody? Do Moody. Okay, let's fuck.
I wanted to do his character from Twin Peaks. That would have been better.
Oh, that would have been sick. Could have put him as the receptionist.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been great.
Wasn't he a receptionist maybe in Twin Peaks? He's like David Lynch's character's like assistant, or something.
Yeah.
Fred Armisen was also in this movie.
Ugh, poor Freddie.
Kate McKinnon was in this movie.
I mean, it's an Apatow movie. I feel like he just watches SNL and he's like,
that other kid from SNL too.
Pete Davidson.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, but he's an Apatow movie. He made that King of Staten Island movie. Right. I feel like because Apatow I think he's from New York. He probably just watches SNL and he's like, give me Kenan Thompson, or like get me. I don't know who the fuck's on SNL anymore.
Well, they had that kid in this movie from SNL that did the camera work.
Oh, that was right. Oh my god, that's right. That guy's on SNL.
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay,
I know. I was like, where the fuck do I know this guy?
Yeah. I was trying to figure that out. I should have looked into it, but I was captivated by the movie and the story so much to the point where I couldn't look away from the screen to check my phone for IMDb.
There's just so many layers.
There's so many layers. It
really
had me thinking there.
And then also Peter Serafinowicz, who's the guy that's like, I don't know if you know him. He's like Pete from Shaun of the Dead, but
yes, that's like
He's like the
that's what I thought he was from.
Producer. He plays the producer.
Yeah, he plays the producer. Yeah.
And he also I liked
him.
Was the best.
I liked him.
He was like acting.
Yeah, there's a couple people that
tried.
There's a couple people that fucking tried. A couple.
Pedro
the rest
Pascal
of them
was okay.
But still, I can still
That's
sit there.
True,
and
actually, there was a few scenes where I was like, come on.
I'm like, come on, man.
By the way, I gave this movie 7 what the fucks.
Oh, true.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell.
No, fuck offs.
Fuck offs? Okay.
Yeah.
You can tell that we haven't even really jumped into the story or anything about it yet, and we're just kind of driven over the cast. This really gives you an idea as to what you're really in store for.
Yeah. Fuck offs, by the way, are moments where I audibly say out loud, fuck off.
Yeah.
7
of those.
7 of those. And,
that's a lot.
And like that's if something's really bad.
That's pretty high on the fuck off scale.
I would say that's pretty up there on the fuck off.
It's up there.
Okay, and that's the cast pretty much. And then there was like, well, we already said Gus Kahn, but there was like a couple other British comedians.
The British people were my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know why.
I thought the British also gave a shit. Everyone else knew what they were fucking making.
Yeah, like there was a couple of small time actors that were in there that actually like tried. Like the guy who was on QI, I can't remember what his name is. You just mentioned it earlier.
Oh, Gus Kahn? Yeah.
Gus Kahn, yeah, he tried. Like he gave a shit, like kind of thing. I love that guy. That guy's so funny.
Yeah, I know, he's awesome. And he was like, he did have like funny lines.
He did. He was kind of the comic, like more of the comic relief for me. Like,
honestly,
there was a lot of that lacking.
As bad as this was, I did laugh like I think twice.
I had a few.
Yeah.
I had a few.
So there were a couple things I was like, oh, that's funny, but.
Let's get into the plot of this bad boy. So, if you weren't sick of COVID already, and you're sitting at home and you're like, oh, my life sucks and COVID was garbage and it's all ending. What do we need here? Yeah. A movie about COVID. So this movie stars
not only that, but an unrelatable movie about COVID.
COVID, yeah. Oh, that was We'll jump into that. I got some stuff about that.
Oh,
but essentially, what this masterpiece is about is a group of actors who are getting together to go into a quarantine to film the 6th movie of a dinosaur franchise while being in quarantine. And the movie kind of touches upon life in quarantine as an actor and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And pretty much that's all your plot is. Everything's...
Yeah, so the glaring problem with the movie obviously is the grossly distasteful fact that it's actors experiencing having
It's
to
it's
deal
1%.
with COVID?
It's 1%er
Yeah.
bullshit.
Which
It's
they
let's
do,
get
like,
into
they
it.
do attempt to like make that as a joke, like like, you know.
I understand this movie has a very, very high, like, sarcastic overtone, but no.
There's also the serious moments too, or that's where it's like, okay, fuck off. Like,
yeah,
like
it tries to be relatable, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
where it's
relate
like,
to any of this.
they fucking were in lockdown for a bit and couldn't act. Meanwhile, like, everyone else in the world, like, didn't know if they had jobs, can support their family. Like, this is not funny.
No,
You know?
no, it's kind of rich people being like, these are our problems,
and
kind
not,
of thing.
and I think not understanding that severity that people like went through with COVID, right?
It kind of just seems like a laugh. It's like, hey, remember when that happened? These were our problems, our issues.
And that's like what you said is like, no, we don't want to remember when that happened.
No.
Like,
And they keep touching on it and bringing it up.
Like, we're still dealing with COVID. Let's fucking get through it first. For
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
And then, like, it's like, yeah, we're kind of coming towards the tail end of it. And, like,
Maybe.
I'm sure they probably shot this during COVID, really. Like, they might have actually.
Yeah.
But, like, to me, it's like, if you go to see a stand-up show now and someone's on stage and they're just like, oh, COVID, COVID, COVID.
Yeah.
Who's going to laugh at that?
No.
Like, get new material, right? Like, and this is the great stand-up Judd Apatow is. I'm sure he has a bunch of COVID in his fucking material when he goes up there and does his fucking stupid stand-up. Oh, don't you just hate it when your kids ask for a Bentley but you can only afford a Ferrari? Shut up.
Exactly. That's like
Shut
my
up.
other big gripe is that, well, with Apatow, I think he doesn't realize. That's what I was thinking about Adam Sandler, was like, Adam Sandler's making like grown-ups too, whatever, with all of his friends. Apatow is making now movies with all of his family.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, let's put my daughter in a movie because, like, she wants to act now. It doesn't have to be good. She doesn't have to do a good job, but I want her to do stuff. Also, like...
Yeah, the audacity that you would let your kid roll up into that movie and let it go down the way that it did, and you're just like, you were able to put your name on that and be like, this is my kid, this is my movie, this is my wife, here you go. I would be, as a father, I would sit there and, like, burn that fucking film in the editing room. I would see one clip of that TikTok dance that they do, and I would just burn the fucking place down. And that's a thing that they keep bringing up.
Yeah.
They do, like,
3
of those.
Apatow's like, our kids are doing TikTok now. Let's make a movie about it. He's only making movies about, like, the fucking things he's going through as a multi-millionaire fucking father.
Yeah.
You know?
And who cares? Nobody cares. Like, I lost, like, a lot of respect for him when I started watching this, and I was like, that's what like you stated, that's what it seems like. It's all of them, like, they're all going through quarantine, and they're, like, bitching about how they're stuck there, and they have to make this crappy movie, but they're all getting paid a ridiculous amount of money, so that's why they're staying.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's so disconnected from reality, like the every average, like, person, that it's kind of a slap to the face, where it's just like,
a big part of it.
You're in your own little rose-colored world, and then the rest of us are just, like, struggling to get by, and then this is how you see it, right? But yeah.
I was thinking that maybe you could potentially do it because they did, like, write all the characters to be, like, not self-aware.
Yeah.
That, like, nobody cares about them in COVID. Like, they did have that, but it just, like, wasn't enough. And there was too many things where they were, like, trying to show, like, actual struggles that they had, which you don't care about.
Yeah. The social stuff aside, where they're like, you know, it's like boo-hoo, the jokes on the COVID stuff was just like, I was, like, watching it, and I was like, you gotta have something better than this. And, like, like, it just made no sense to me. I'm like, you couldn't come up with anything better, like, in the writing process than, like, oh, we all have influenza. They're like, at least it's not as bad as COVID. And I'm, like, watching this, and I'm like, a pox on thee. A pox.
The other thing that I thought was shitty about this movie, the other big thing, is that it was just also just fucking boring.
Oh my god.
Like,
so,
really
like,
boring.
So Judd Apatow has a really, really bad history of doing this, like, especially in his later years, of, like, his movies are, like, very watchable for the first hour, and they're funny, and then essentially This Is 40 is the best example of, like, how his movies are. Funny at the beginning, then it gets too fucking long and depressing. Like that movie, Funny People, right? That movie's 2.5 hours. That movie does not have to be 2.5 hours.
Movie, though. But yeah, there's a lot in that.
Yeah, and it's like this. This movie's only, I think it clocks in at 2:05.
I know, yeah.
Too long.
You can't make a movie like this 2 hours. That's bullshit.
No.
It's a fucking comedy bullshit movie. Make it an hour and a half.
And then like they clearly try to pepper in other celebrities too at the time. They're like,
There's a lot
here's
of
John
little-
Cena. They're like, here's Beck. And I'm like, who is...
Also, like, James McAvoy came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And I'm like,
what?
And I'm like, why?
Like, he had like 2 lines and he played himself. Meanwhile, nobody else is playing their self.
I think he actually did. He did have a relationship with that actress in real life.
Oh, maybe.
I think maybe they make a joke about it in there, but like I think she did actually, like the actual. She's Scottish, I believe. I believe they're both Scottish, right? So that's kind of maybe that was to me was the thing, but
that was weird.
But still,
like,
weird.
What's going on here? So that was one thing too. I was thinking, actually, when I saw that scene, I was like, well, James McAvoy plays himself. I was like, this would be better if everyone played themselves. Yeah. They could still be doing Cliff B's 6, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it would be funnier if it was like David Duchovny's there doing a movie. Pedro Pascal's there doing that movie. Like, and they're making a parody of themselves. Like they did in like This Is the End. Yeah. You see? I don't know why. He was a producer on that. I don't know why he couldn't. But you know why? Because he didn't write those movies. Those movies are written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. And anything that Judd Apatow has done with any substance behind it, it usually involves Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. That's true.
And anytime he doesn't do anything with them, it's usually not very good. So that's kind of like a telling thing for me. Like usually when you see like some of his later stuff that he's doing without them, it's not very good. And that's just true. Because you know people, you know. And he also piggybacked off Adam McKay for a while too, where Adam McKay did a lot of good stuff. Yeah, that's true. And he kind of... And, like, obviously Adam McKay will probably be like, oh, Judd Apatow. Like,
yeah, at the end of the day, Judd Apatow's a producer.
Yeah, he's not fucking Lorne Michaels. He didn't give these people their careers. They helped him, right? Like...
I think he did a bit.
He did.
At the beginning. Like, he did Freaks and Geeks, too.
That's true.
So, and he got a lot of people to start then. And actually, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, they went to him to get Superbad produced.
Yes, because they had that.
He did get them
They were already writing before that.
He was the one that
because they were doing the Ali G show and stuff like that. Like they were writing.
Yeah, they were writing, but
it took them it was. I think for Seth Rogen, it was the 40-Year-Old Virgin was the big start of it, and that's Adam McKay and Judd Apatow, I believe.
Did Judd Apatow direct that movie?
No, he's a producer on it. I believe
Adam McKay.
I think Adam McKay directed it. Or he's at least the writer on it. I also forgot that he was in Heavyweights, as an actor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's true. He was in Heavyweights.
So just going back to Judd Apatow's actual directing, just seeing what he did. So The Bubble, he directed King of Staten Island.
Yeah, I knew that.
Trainwreck.
The Amy Schumer one?
Yeah. This Is 40.
Okay.
Funny People.
Yep, I knew that one too.
Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Okay.
And then Undeclared and Freaks and Geeks.
Okay.
So really, he's just a couple eps on Freaks and Geeks, Undeclared.
So really, he's mostly just a direct. He's mostly a producer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, mostly a producer guy. The good stuff that he's made is usually affiliated with people who are very talented.
Yeah, but you have to be a smart producer to give
Don't get me
those
wrong.
people money.
Don't get me wrong. He's doing something.
Was doing something, right? Is the key word. But there's also that thing where it's he's had this career, so what is he at this point? What does he care if he's making anything good, right?
He doesn't give a fuck.
That's kind of fair to say, right?
Yeah.
It's like Adam Sandler. I don't get mad at Adam Sandler making these movies with his buddies, because whatever, they're doing what they want to do. They're having fun. Yeah, I don't have to watch it.
Yeah, he's getting paid $50 million fucking
to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, to go to Hawaii to shoot some fucking movie. That could be the Apatow thing, but
perhaps isn't that the fucking ultimate goal for people? Just make funny if you're into comedy movies, make funny ass movies with your friends and just fuck around.
I think what it is too is that the streaming services are a little more lax. They're okay, well, you can make especially Netflix. Netflix,
we'll give you a bunch of money. Do what you want.
You want, yeah. And they don't care, right? Because they're it's going to go up there, people are going to see your name, and they're going to watch it. Much like they did with that Adam McKay movie with the asteroid.
Don't Look Up?
Yeah, where it was we don't give a fuck as long as Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill is in this, and Adam McKay directs this and has something to do with it. We're going to put it up there because people are going to watch it, right? And that's essentially what it is. And that's kind of what the Apatow thing is too, where they're like, if you put Apatow's name on it, people are going to watch it because they think it's affiliated with Seth Rogen or
that's
or
like
Paul Rudd or whoever.
why we're reviewing it too, because we think people will watch this movie for that reason.
Don't. Don't. Save yourself the 2 hours.
Yeah.
Stay young forever.
Don't you ever say that.
Don't you ever watch
Jeez,
this goddamn...
Billy, I can't wait till I go to high school.
I can't wait till I watch The Bubble. Don't you ever say that. Yeah, don't watch this. No,
and like I said, the main thing is it's just boring. Like,
it is boring.
I
And you know
was
what?
sitting
It's
there,
filmed. It's
like, I have to fucking finish this goddamn thing.
I did the same thing. I actually had to force myself to finish it. And it's filled with these crappy little analogies. Like when they go up in the helicopter, Keegan-Michael Key only learns how to go up and down. And they all go up in the helicopter at the end. And they're like, you need to go forward. And he's like, I only learned how to go up and down. And they're like, no, we need to go forward. I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of here. I'm like they're saying like...
that was an analogy?
Yeah, it's for COVID. It's like, we need to go past it, like kind of thing.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
Went over my head.
Really? That's how I took it. Like,
really?
the way they're saying it, they're like, we need to move forward. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, fair.
It's very on the nose.
Well,
to
at that
me.
point, I was kind of like...
Tuning in and out.
I was like, let's go.
The dialogue is so bad.
Yeah.
Like, the back and forth, like, even between Leslie Mann and David Duchovny.
Oh, Leslie Mann is terrible. I mean, she's terrible in everything.
But, boy, does she look good for how old she is. That was the first thing I realized. I was like, man, she looks... She's like in her 50s, but she looks good.
She's in her 50s?
I think she's like early 50s. She looks good.
Well, there is a movie that told us how old she is. This is 40.
This is 40, but I don't think she's actually 40 in that.
No.
That to me, like I said, is the epitome of a Judd Apatow movie. Yeah. Like funny for the first hour, and then just like long, and then sad for the last hour.
I mean, maybe he thinks he can do that because Knocked Up is a long movie.
It is.
Knocked Up is 2
and Knocked
hours.
Up follows that exact same formula where it's really, really funny at the beginning, and then it turns into more of a serious movie towards the end. But it works with that because
it's good.
The acting.
The
acting is great too. Like Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen, even the sub characters of like Jonah Hill and like those. That's what makes the movie. Jason Segel.
Yeah.
I
like the way you dick. So
Jason Segel's like naked when he's outside. He's like, "Oh man, they forgot to turn the gas off." He's just like naked. He's like, "I'll catch you guys later." The guy's always fucking naked.
Yeah, I guess it's like his thing.
Yeah,
it's like Josh.
Yeah, big balls. Jason Segel's in that Lakers show that I've been watching, which is the Adam McKay movie.
Nice, that's on my list.
Yeah, he does a good job in that.
Sweet.
He plays like a kind of like nervous, like, you know, like quiet coach, like, come on guys, just listen to me.
Okay.
Like he does a really good job, really, really good job.
His movies, like
he's doing indie movies now.
Right. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Like his movies, Sarah Marshall and Get Him to the Greek. Those aren't produced by Apatow, are they?
Yes, Sarah Marshall is. Get Him to the Greek. I'm pretty sure Apatow has something to do with it. Oh no, he might not. I don't even know if Jason Segel has.
Well, Segel actually is from Freaks and Geeks, so that's his Apatow connection.
Yes,
yeah.
But I do know Apatow produces Forgetting Sarah Marshall for sure.
Nice.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah, both those movies are great.
Yeah, they're great. Oh, yeah. Well, that's Jason Segel wrote those movies, though. He wrote the characters. Yeah. Just because you're attached... But that's what I'm saying about the Apatow thing.
No,
he's smart where he sees talent in people, and he's like, let me attach myself to this.
Oh, yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, you know, some people have made a very good career doing that, right? I.e., like, George Clooney and people like that, right? Who, like... Or Sandler, even for that instance, too.
Yeah, of course.
Where Sandler's able to, like, see people and be like, okay, let me attach myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fucking... Yeah. The business side.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah. And Hollywood is business, right?
Other thing I was going to say about this movie, The Bubble, what it could have potentially been.
Ooh, it could have been really good, I think.
But is there a movie that popped in your head that it could have potentially been like? It reminded me of... But that movie's good and funny. This one's not.
I mean, I'm sure once you mention it...
Okay, so I thought this could have been like a Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
Because it's about these...
It's actors making a bad movie.
Yeah, in a crazy circumstance.
Yeah.
Right?
But it didn't have
So it could have been like that. It had those vibes, sort of, in the story.
Yeah, but those actors gave a shit.
Oh, yeah, everyone gave a shit.
Everyone gave a shit in that movie. That
movie's script. Like,
that movie's great for the fact that it's like... It bridges that weird, like fourth wall, kind of like it's a movie, but it's not a movie kind of thing. Like, I wouldn't say fourth wall, but like you know, it's kind of like
I
that
know
weird.
what you mean. Like
Yeah.
meta humor or whatever.
Yeah, kind of exactly. Yeah, and like this one obviously does that too, but
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's not funny, and they don't try.
with a better writer, maybe.
It's
Better actors even.
But as we said, the sub actors were really good. Like the
Yeah,
British actors,
exactly.
like the B people,
Oh yeah.
were phenomenal. And it's
Well,
just
they're out there trying to probably make a career.
yeah, the A actors.
While David Duchovny's like, I already did my acting 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's like, seen any aliens or ghosts? Yeah, like Duchovny's good. I like Duchovny. Like I said, I thought he was one of the better parts in this movie.
What
like,
did you think of the drug scene where I'll do cocaine?
Eh.
Okay, I thought that was funny because it was like Duchovny was in there, and I was like, that's kind of
Yeah.
weird. He's like a recovering.
He's a recovering
addict.
addict,
Like,
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah, and like, because that's right. Because Pedro Pascal's always doing like acid and shit, like all around the fucking yeah. And they kept making these things where they're
oh,
like,
that guy. Sorry to cut you off, but I was thinking that one guy who plays like his name's like Gunther or whatever,
Mhm.
the skinny guy. He
yeah,
was good.
I liked him.
He was
too.
like the one funny.
But he was
guy.
also British. I like the British
Exactly,
act,
yeah.
and like his little assistant, the other girl too, was funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're getting now from streaming services, like streaming service movies. Like you're getting like people are like, we've already gotten paid. Like,
Oh, definitely.
like
Yeah.
who cares? Phone it in. Like if people watch it, they don't.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I mean, if it's like around Oscar season and you see a streaming movie come up on Netflix, I would probably watch it because chances are it's probably going to be really good. But anything between
Actually, yeah, like they're not like this isn't in theaters,
no,
right? So no one's like paying for this.
Well, I mean, you are technically.
Yeah, but no one's like going to spend $20 on this.
Well, and if you did, I'd be. If you saw this in theaters,
Well, that's the thing, right? Like Jack and Jill, for example, like that was in theaters and people went and paid for it.
Yeah, they did.
So like that's like borderline
Highway
fucking
robbery
scam.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, this one's got Pacino and Sandler.
Yeah.
Hoo-ah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Where so at least there's that. So you can't really be like that mad at them.
I'm just. Like I said, what you said, I was more annoyed at the fact that they were like, "Woe is me." Like,
Yeah,
It was a
exactly.
very big
Yeah.
like. It was a very big like.
This was a movie for them only.
Yeah, for like the elite Hollywood elite. Like it was like, do we really need this? Like,
And, what did we touched on it briefly? But I'm curious what you thought about Judd Apatow's daughter, Iris Apatow.
awful acting first and foremost. Like I've never seen anything so bad.
Right.
Like just like the expressions, like oh my god, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I was like, can we not do a second take on this?
So yeah, I didn't even know she was in the movie at first, and as soon as she started talking, it wasn't that she looked like them or that I recognized her. I was like, that's Apatow's daughter, because this is clearly somebody that's like not an actor that's been thrown into this movie.
Yeah, like it's like he's pushing her. She was in Love also, which was an Apatow show. It was actually okay. It wasn't too bad. It was with Gillian Jacobs and one of Apatow's buddies, but it was all right. It was watchable. It was a series. But she's in that as well, I believe. She's not very good in that either. But I guess they put her in this and they tried to make her because
She's like one of the main characters.
her sister, like his other daughter, who's the oldest one in Knocked Up, is doing really well. Like she's in like Euphoria.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
in a
really?
lot of
I didn't know
she's
that.
in a lot of big stuff now.
Oh, so this is the young daughter.
Yeah, this is the
Oh,
youngest
okay.
one.
Okay.
I think she's like 19 or 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And the other one's like 25.
Okay.
I was like,
True,
holy
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I was like, where's the time go?
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
So I remember them acting in like
Knocked Up.
Knocked Up.
Yeah. And they're kids, right? I want to listen to Green Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she was so bad. And then they did those TikTok dances things.
Yeah.
They were like, everyone, let's get in on it. And like, I wanted to like,
Which there's like a bit of.
there's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw my remote at the TV. Like it took
Oh, yeah.
every like
Oh,
bit
yeah,
of
that was
strength I
brutal.
had in me not to like break something.
And there's a bit of like sexualization, kind of.
Yeah, which is weird to me
Yeah.
too.
That was the
I'm like,
weirdest
why are
thing.
you sexualizing her in this? And I was like, this is
So
kind
also,
of.
what I think is going on is that she's doing these like dances, you know. Where
She might be big on the
She
internet.
like shakes her butt, and I think Judd Apatow thinks that like, oh, that's just like the dances kids do now. But in reality, on TikTok, like girls are like just showing their ass off to everyone.
Yeah.
And they kind of do that in this movie, and it's like, it's kind of uncomfortable and gross knowing
Yeah,
that it's like
it's-
his daughter.
Yeah, and that's your dad. He's like, oh, you're gonna shake her ass? You
He's
shake
like,
her ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
that's
don't
weird.
think he's like, doing that like on purpose, but it's weird.
It makes me wonder if it was written in that way, or if it was like,
I mean,
if that was already a part of the original script, or like they were just like, fuck it, she's in it, like let's add a dance scene in there or two.
yeah, I think he is like, oh, like his kids, he's seeing his kids on TikTok all the time, and he's like, oh, let's make a joke about it. I think that's what's going on. Like he's like, what does he relate to these days? My kids are on TikTok all the time. Let's make a movie about it. Like that's what I think is happening. And then David Duchovny, you could tell he's like comfortable in those scenes and like laughing, because I'm just thinking like, oh, I bet his kid's on fucking TikTok too, so they relate, and that's like,
Now old guys are just like, don't you love when your kids like,
yeah,
I can feel.
they make that joke about like, is YouTube still around?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
That's in the helicopter. Yeah.
Like,
She's
what
like,
the fuck are you saying?
yeah, what kids?
Of course it is.
Is YouTube still
Kids
there?
still use YouTube. Like,
Yeah, what are you trying to pull here? Is YouTube the YouTubes?
fuck off.
Oh, awful. Yeah, because that's what it is, right? It's all about like it's just about like, hey, don't you realize that kids have no attention span and that the quarantine sucked? It's like, yeah, I've been outside, you fucking idiot. Like, I know how the world works. I don't need you to fucking write a movie and put a bunch of famous people in it. And then, yeah, it's like, it's just unnecessary. And I think that was the big downfall for me. Yeah. What would you rate this steaming pile of crap?
I would actually probably rate it a 4.
4? You're generous. I'm giving this fucking thing a 2. This is one of the worst things I've ever watched. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I would give this a 2. I don't know what IMDb is.
Like,
I'm sure it's like
I give it a 4.
4. I mean,
It's not like it's still, it's not like the camera work is okay. It's still like a movie. I think for like to be 3, it has to be like fucking these people don't know what the fuck they're doing type of thing. So that's why I give it the 4.
I just give it a 2 based.
It has some semblance of a story,
It does.
and it kind of has an ending.
To me, it feels like he sat there and in like a day
Oh, what do
or
you think
two
of? Yeah, sorry.
wrote this
Yeah.
fucking thing. And that's why I give it such a low score based upon the fact that I'm like, the acting's awful, the story doesn't make any sense, like stupid, and
Yeah,
like there's so many things
you're
wrong about it.
absolutely right.
But anyway,
What do you think of like the very end when it's like the guy releases the
it's a
documentary?
mockumentary kind
Yeah.
of thing. That to me was like, that's been done so many times.
It's kind of just there.
It's been.
But I thought,
Isn't that what happened at the end of Tropic Thunder?
well, right. I think that's probably what made me, think of Tropic Thunder. Maybe that was that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they just ripped that off.
But that's why I thought, like, if they did that the whole time, it would have been a better movie if they shot it like that.
Yeah, and then the whole time they're
The
just yelling at him. They're
mockumentary.
like, "Get out of here! You're supposed to be a fly on the wall." And I'm like,
It's
okay.
unfunny.
I'm like, it's so, and I like Fred Armisen, and like just to see him in that role, he was so unfunny, and it was so bad,
Yeah.
and I was just like, why?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, why? You're better than this.
Well, he's SNL too.
Yeah. there you go.
So it's just them doing SNL shit.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we looked into it. Like, obviously, like, me, research king. I'm sure if we looked into it, like, Judd Apatow probably would have some SNL ties. Like, maybe he wrote for SNL or something like that at one point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had something to do with it. Because the sheer fact that there's like a million fucking SNL people in all of his stuff. Like, there's always somebody from SNL.
That is true. Yeah, I don't know. He would have at least been around all of them. Like, yeah, it doesn't ring a bell, but I mean, like, fucking everybody's written for SNL, right? Like,
I mean, that's also true, right? Even Larry David wrote fucking a skit for SNL. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, everyone who's in some form of comedy has had some ties with that, right? Like,
do you know that story about Larry David, like, storming out of the room and quitting on SNL?
I'm sure he did that a lot, but no.
So yeah, but he so I can't remember what happened in the writer's room, but he was just like, this is bullshit, like, fuck all of you, like, I quit, this is like, he's like, no one ever accepted his sketches, right?
Yeah, because
so he's like, fuck this, I quit, you're all shit, whatever, fuck you, and left like midday. And this was his first writing job ever. just moved to New York kind of thing. And he was like at home talking to the real Kramer, like his
roommate.
It was
the guy
his,
across
the hall.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I quit. And then he realized that, like, I don't have a job. Like, this is really fucking stupid. And Kramer goes, why don't you just go back in and pretend you never got fired?
Oh, that's
like
the
you think that
Seinfeld
would
bit.
work? Yeah, they wrote it in, they made it an episode on Seinfeld.
George does that, that's right, yeah.
So he actually did that. He actually fucking goes back. And they're all like, what are you doing here? And he was just like, what, that? I was joking.
Classic Larry. What are you talking
He
about?
just like sits down and like joins the writer's room again. And he worked there for another like maybe year or whatever.
Yeah.
After that.
What a legend.
Yeah, he's the best.
Larry's the best. Like,
still never got like, I think he got one sketch on SNL, but
yeah, I think he had one or two or something like that. Yeah, nothing big. It's kind of like what's his face, Tim Robbins or whatever. He never really had a bunch of sketches on SNL.
yeah,
he was because I think he was a part of the cast for one season. I think
maybe.
But he was mostly a writer. But they wouldn't take his skits because they were like,
yeah,
this is not.
I think he was a writer, but he would be like in some of the sketches
He was in some of the
as
sketches?
like a backup character. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you can only do so much on cable television, right? Like you can't. And I think the way that humor is now is like shifting from like the everyday humor, which is the SNL that we see, where they're making skits about like Star Wars and like
Of course.
and like crap that like the everyday people like.
Yeah.
I like how we're shifting to more like that is a good thing about Netflix. Where Netflix has a bunch of those sketch shows like Auntie Donna's House and like I Think You Should Leave Now.
Yeah.
And like those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll give Netflix that. But yeah, that movie no. So I can't. It's just like burned into my memory.
Netflix released like the kind of big news is that they lost 200,000 subscribers like this month.
Wow.
And they expect to lose like 2 million by the end of the quarter or something like that.
Wow.
So it's a huge thing. There's like stocks plummeting and everything like that.
Wow. If you're gonna short something.
Which is interesting. Like I actually got Netflix again to watch this movie.
Really?
Yeah, there was a couple other things, like, I was like, okay, Stranger Things coming out, and there's something else I wanted to watch, so it wasn't, like, just for this movie, but because we were watching this, I was like, okay, I'll get it now, type of thing. So I didn't have it. So, and I felt like I didn't need to, because I have Crave, Amazon, Disney, and I was like, those are the good ones. I don't need Netflix.
Those are the good ones. It's sad that fucking Amazon, to me, is better than Netflix in some regards now.
Yeah.
Like, I see some stuff on Amazon that's, like, their original content. And I'm like, I was like, this isn't half bad, right? Like, they recently did, I don't know if, like, you watched The Boys or not, like, the superhero show. Yeah. But they released, like, a bunch of...
it did well.
They released a bunch of, like, little tiny, like, cartoon parts of that, and they're written by, like, different people. Nice. And, like, one of them is written by the guy who's
I saw that.
Yeah, one of them is written by the guy who does Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland, whatever. Yeah. And, oh, fuck, it's funny.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it's funny. It's like an episode of Rick and Morty. Like, it's so funny.
Okay, so.
But the rest of them are really good. They're all done. I think Aquafina writes one, too.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Yeah, they're out there, but they're funny. Like, they're good. They're good little... But anyway, I digress. But yeah, this is just saying, like, Netflix isn't really doing anything.
Yeah.
And they got rid of fucking Mindhunter, too. Yeah. What the fuck was that all about? Like, they canceled Mindhunter.
Yeah,
they
like
canceled...
Season 3's not happening?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
They fucking canceled everything. That was, like, anything they had that was actually good on there, they somehow canceled. And is that just, like, everyone out there is fucking stupid and watching bad TV, and I'm only the only one watching, like, quality television?
Or, yeah, it's too much money to make that. I imagine that's an expensive
I mean, like, Cowboy Bebop got canceled, and, like, okay, a lot of the fans didn't like that.
That's why I got canceled.
But fuck, that was a good show. That was well made.
Cowboy Bebop got canceled 2 weeks after episode 1 aired.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I didn't finish the last episode because I was like, I couldn't finish the last episode because I was like, I want to watch this, but I'm like, there's nothing coming after this. So I'm like, if there's a cliffhanger, I'm just going to be left there sitting like...
There's a little one. Oh, in the last episode? Yeah, well, there's a twist. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll finish it up. Like, I've seen like the actual cartoons from the 90s, like, all the way through. Yeah, like the cartoon movies, the anime movies, yeah.
Show. It was a show.
It's a show,
There's one movie. Yeah.
I think it's 2. But, yeah, I watched those.
Well, it doesn't compare to that.
But the show was actually... The show was actually really cool.
Yeah.
It was great. And it had, like, the sci-fi...
You have to look at it kind of as a different thing, though. Because if you're a fan of the anime, you watch
it doesn't... Yeah, it follows the story, but it's not the same.
A little, yeah.
Some of the episodes are, like, mirrored.
Yeah, some.
Some.
Well,
but not
even
many.
in the first season, there's like 25 episodes in the anime, and this one there's like 8.
Yeah.
And they missed, in my opinion, some of the best episodes.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
weird, but
Yeah, there were some good ones that they didn't really touch on. They got some good ones, but like
it would be good if they like maybe took inspiration from Cowboy Bebop and made this something else, but kind of that world. So
yeah,
that's
something
what I
along-
liked about the show. It was cool to see the world in live action.
Yeah, it was like Firefly kind of thing. Like it was just
Yeah.
like a, yeah. That's why
Exactly.
I like those
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
space pirate shows. Like those are always like really cool.
So what I think is too bad, and a lot of people are happy it got canceled, but what I think is too bad is that maybe Netflix or other places are going to look at this and be like, oh, people don't want this like
yeah,
fucking
it's very
truckers in space.
Yeah, they don't
type
like
of
stylistic like cow
Which
like
I would
space
like
west.
to see.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was great, and like I would give that show a solid like 7.5. Like as like a show, it was great. And then they fucking
Oh yeah, 7.5. Yeah.
yeah, and then they fucking canceled it. They canceled everything. It's good. Mindhunter was like, to me, in my opinion, was probably one of the best shows on fucking. That's probably one of the best shows on any streaming service. It's probably one of the best shows I've seen in like a really fucking long time.
I saw an article that said there might be a season 3, but I didn't read it, so I don't know if that was before they canceled it or not.
Well, I know they canceled it.
Yeah, maybe someone else will do it.
I hope so. Like that's such a waste.
I'm sure they're trying to get it made.
Like it's so annoying. It's like I'm missing all these shows, and then I turn it on, and it's like, is it cake? And I'm like, is this really like? I'm like, is this really?
I saw that. Is
Yeah.
it cake? Yeah.
I'm like, are we paying for this? Like, to be fair, I did watch an episode of Is It Cake?
How was it?
Yeah, it was actually pretty funny. Like not funny, but it was kind of a cool
it
concept.
wasn't, man. No, it wasn't.
They have a bunch of like household items that look like, you know, and they have to
Yeah,
decide.
like cakes.
Yeah, like the title tells you all. Is it cake?
Speaking of funny, this movie was not.
No, it was fucking not. I mean, I guess it's that time. Top 5 time.
Okay, what's your top 5 Apatow actors?
From 5 to 1, we have Jonah Hill,
Nice, okay.
Leslie Mann, Seth Rogen, Danny McBride, and Paul Rudd.
Okay, good. I'm surprised about Leslie Mann.
She's good in the Uptown movies. Like, I like her in This Is 40. I liked her in Knocked Up.
Oh,
I enjoyed her in, what was the Adam Sandler one? Yeah, she was good in that, too.
Wow. No, I don't like her. I think she's annoying.
Oh, you don't like Leslie Mann?
I think she's trying too hard, and it's just like she's in it because she's married to Apatow. That's
Oh, really?
That's all
I don't mind her. But,
no, I don't like her.
yeah, fair enough. To each their own.
Interesting. I'm surprised. I didn't really.
Oh, came unprepared, I see. Dog ate my homework. You don't
But
own a
I
dog.
would do. So I'll do no particular order. I would do Jonah Hill probably number 1 though.
Okay, just based upon, like,
I just think he's fucking funny, man.
and he's a talented actor.
Yeah.
Fatalities.
Yeah.
Fatalities.
Fatalities.
Okay.
Fatalities.
All right, that was pretty fucking good.
We just tight, man.
We
tight.
just. Your name's Aja.
I'd put Seth Rogen in there, Danny McBride.
Definitely McBride. Like, what about Paul Rudd? You gotta have Paul Rudd in there,
Think
though.
so?
I mean, This Is 40.
Yeah.
40-Year-Old
I'll
Virgin.
put Paul Rudd in there.
Paul Rudd in 40-Year-Old Virgin is probably one of the best, like, Paul Rudd roles. Like, when he walks in his house and he's like, what, you don't masturbate? And he's like, no, I don't do that. He's like, are you kidding me? He's like, I've jacked it like 2 times since I've been here. And he's had like a giant box of porno. I like how you find out that his girlfriend is like Mindy Kaling. Like when they're at the speed dating thing that he keeps talking about. And when Seth Rogen's talking to her. And Seth Rogen like teams up with Mindy Kaling. He's like, you need to stop fucking with my friend. And you're ruining his mind. And she's like, what are you talking about? I changed my address. I changed my email. I changed everything. And he still keeps finding me. And Seth Rogen's just like, well, I didn't know that.
Will Apatow ever make another funny movie?
I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Closing line of the day is sayonara, suckers. A lot of work into that one.
Nice.